seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer.
All the man is out on the field.
That's another knockdown.
You know, Jim.
Get up.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
The All Things Sport Podcast with your hosts, Damian Banks and Pierre Banks on Spreaker Radio.
What's happening? What's up? What's going on? It's the All Things Sport Podcast, and I'm your host, Damian Banks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm broadcasting from the Banks Boy Studios right here in beautiful Durham, North Carolina. It is ATS, as I love to affectionately call it, the All Things Sport Podcast, where I give you all things sport. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. For my new listeners, hey man, come on in. The door is wide open. To my longtime listeners, welcome back. People, before I get started on the podcast this week, let me just say the election for the president may not have went down the way that you wanted it to go down. I know it didn't go down the way that I wanted it to go down. But there are two things that are going to happen. The sun is going to shine, and you got to go to work. So move on with your life. Live the best way you can. Love one another. Try to do better. We're going to get through this 4 years. We hope that it's only 4 years together. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm here to talk about sports. This is the All Things Sport Podcast. I am Damian Banks. As always, you can reach me on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SportsByDamion. Again, the All Things Sport Podcast, where I give you all things sport. I'm here. It's another week. I hope everyone had a good week last week. You know, it's that time of year where all the sports are intertwined. The NFL season is popping off. College football is popping off. College basketball is about to start. The NBA has started. It hasn't popped off quite yet. It's just started, but it's going to get interesting. Trust me. The sporting world is at an all-time high right now. So without further ado, we're going to get into our hot topics. My first hot topic for this week's edition, I'm going to start with the NBA because the season just started, man. The NBA season is underway. Now, we all know what happened last season. LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers exercised their demons, beating the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. Now, this season, a lot of people think that it's going to be a rematch of last season's finals. Actually, a lot of people think it's going to be a trilogy because the Golden State Warriors, they won round one. LeBron and company, they won round two. So this season, people are going to try to go through the motion, man. They're going to try to go through the motions and fast forward to the playoffs, but you can't do that. You gotta complete the process. So now everyone thinks that the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors are on a collision course for the NBA Finals, man. Now LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love, the Cavs, they're a fully gelled team. But Golden State, they lost a lot off of last season's team, man. Now what they did do, they went out and got Kevin Durant, the Durantula, in free agency, man. But KD has to get acclimated to the team. But the Warriors lost Harrison Barnes. They lost Andrew Bogut. Both of those guys are at the Dallas Mavericks now. They lost Leandro Barbosa. He's with the Phoenix Suns again. And they lost Mo Spates, who is with the LA Clippers. That's a lot to lose off of your bench if you're the Golden State Warriors. So it remains to be seen if the Golden State Warriors are going to actually even get to the NBA Finals. They have to get out of the West, man. The West is going to be tough once again. Now, speaking of the Golden State Warriors, their bench this season is going to be what everyone is going to need to pay attention to. Their bench is pretty much unproven players right now. Patrick McCaw, Kevin Looney, Ian Clark. I know you're asking yourselves, like, who the hell are those guys? And I was asking myself the same thing, but I did my research. You should do your research as well. These guys are in the NBA. They can play, but they're unproven. So it remains to be seen if the Golden State Warriors bench is going to be a hindrance or is it going to work to their advantage. Now, coming off the bench for the Warriors, they still have Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala, but that's all they have off the bench. On the other hand, the Cleveland Cavaliers, their team is pretty much the same. They brought back everyone from that championship team last season, even gave J.R. Smith a new contract in the offseason. Took a little while. Management, they wanted the lollygag. They were pussyfooting, giving him J.R. Smith being that long-term deal, but they got it worked out. So LeBron and company, they're back to try to defend their crown. NBA season is just now starting. Only about 7-8 games into the season. The East, it's the usual suspects. It's the Cavs and everybody else. But who is everybody else, you ask? The Toronto Raptors, they still have Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan is actually balling so far this season, leading the NBA in scoring at over 33 points a game thus far. Also in the East, you got the Atlanta Hawks. The addition of Dwight Howard to the Atlanta Hawks is going to make them pretty formidable. Still got Paul Millsap. They did get rid of Jeff Teague, but no worries. Dennis Schroeder was waiting in the wings. He may be an upgrade from Jeff Teague. I actually like Jeff Teague. I think Jeff Teague can play, but the Hawks moved on, so now they have a new point guard. Also in the East, you got the Boston Celtics. They were an upstart team last season, made the playoffs. Actually, a pretty good team. No superstars on that team, but they play well as a unit. Isaiah Thomas is the leading scorer on that team. Not that Isaiah Thomas, not Zeke from the two-time defending champion Detroit Pistons of the early 90s, but the new Isaiah Thomas. Look him up. Do your research. Also out the East, you got Dwayne Wade switching teams from the Miami Heat, going to his hometown Chicago Bulls. Yeah, man. After 13 seasons for the Miami Heat, man, Mr. Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade, he left and went to the Chicago Bulls. Pat Riley just let him pack his bags and go. I don't understand it, man, but, in this world, we must move on. Also out East, you got the Charlotte Hornets out of North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina, so I got a shout out to the Charlotte Hornets. Kemba Walker playing great as always. He always gets left out in the All-Star balloting for some reason. Well, I know the reason why he gets left out in the All-Star balloting. It's a lot of great point guards in the NBA, and it's a lot of great point guards in the East. You got the Washington Wizards with John Wall. They can make some noise in the Eastern Conference. But when it all boils down to it, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers and everybody else. I know. You guys hate the Cavaliers. You hate LeBron James, but you love to hate him. So there's a smidgen of love wrapped inside, stuffed inside that hate, should I say. Moving back out to the Western Conference with the Golden State Warriors, a lot of people think that they're going to make the NBA Finals because they have a super team. The Warriors need time to gel, man. It doesn't happen overnight. I remember a couple of seasons ago before LeBron went back to Cleveland when he was still in Miami when he first got there, it took them time to gel. It took them time to play together, to learn each other's games, because it was LeBron coming. He was an alpha male coming from Cleveland, joining Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami. So it took time for them to gel. It's going to take that same amount of time for the Golden State Warriors, in my humble opinion, for them to gel as a team as well. So the other teams out west, you got the San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan has retired. The great Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental, he has retired. And now it's Kawhi Leonard's team. Kawhi Leonard is a quiet assassin. He's going to lead that team. As Kawhi Leonard goes, the San Antonio Spurs will go. And Greg Popovich, Greg Popovich is a hell of a coach. So the Spurs are going to be right there in the mix. Also, the LA Clippers are going to be in the mix. Have one of the best starting fives in the NBA, if not the best starting five, led by Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. So, the Clippers are going to be in the mix. And just like the Golden State Warriors, you have to wonder who is going to come off the bench for the Clippers. And if the Clippers can produce any type of consistency and points off of their bench, they're going to be pretty formidable out west. You have Jamal Crawford coming off the bench. Again, I said Mo Spates left the Golden State Warriors, and now he's with the LA Clippers. You got Mo Spates coming off the bench. So the Clippers are definitely they're going to be in the mix. They're going to make some noise all regular season and going into the NBA playoffs. So who else out west can challenge the Golden State Warriors? Can the Dallas Mavericks do it? I don't think so. Dirk Nowitzki is up there in age. He's a little long in the tooth, sports wise. So, I don't think they're going to challenge anyone out west. The LA Clippers are young and exciting with Luke Walton, roaming those sidelines as the head coach during his first season. But the LA Clippers, they're definitely not ready. You got Dame Dollar, Dame the Rapper, Damian Lillard, and the Portland Trail Blazers. They're also out west. And Dame's a great player, man. He's slept on out west because you got Steph Curry, you got Chris Paul, so Dame is slept on. You also have Kevin Durant's old team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They still have Russell Westbrook, and I love Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is the most ornery basketball player who ever walked the earth. That guy's never happy. I've never seen him smile. Russell Westbrook always has a chip on his shoulder, and he plays that way. So the Golden State Warriors are going to have some company out west when it comes to deciding who's going to represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals. Again, the NBA season is just starting. It's early on. We don't know what's going to happen. We have to go through the process. It's an 82-game season. You don't know what's going to happen with injuries. You don't know what's going to happen with the trades during the NBA season. You really just don't know. You have to play the season out, and it's early on, but I'm super excited about the NBA season, and I know you guys out there in podcast land listening to the All Things Sport podcast, you're pretty excited as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are just now getting this show started. I hope that you don't leave, but if you do have to leave, make it quick. I'm going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back with the All Things Sport podcast on Spreaker Radio.
What up, this is Pierre Banks, and when I'm back in Boone watching the Mountaineers, my first stop is always Mountaineer Mania. The good folks at Mountaineer Mania have the widest selection of app gear, so you can cheer on the Mountaineers in style. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, sweatshirts, decals, cornhole sets. I mean, if you need it, they've got it. So head on down to Mountaineer Mania at 497 West King Street in Boone and tell them I sent you.
The All Things Sport Podcast.
We go back like spinal cords and car seats.
With Damian Banks and Pierre Banks on Spreaker Radio.
Welcome back to the All Things Sport Podcast. I'm your host, Damian Banks. This portion of the show is brought to you by Triangle Entertainment Worldwide. Triangle Entertainment Worldwide provides video and photo shoot production, talent management consultation, label shopping, performance booking, CD duplication and artwork, Reverb Nation services, logo designs, press kits, bio write-ups, legal services, radio placement, product placement, mixtape hosting, and a whole assortment of other services. You can contact Gerald Robinson at 704-774-6212 or go to www.teworldwide.com. Now, before I went to the commercial break, the first segment of the show I dedicated to the NBA. I said that this is a great time of year, man. The sports world is popping 10 right now. The NBA is just now starting. The NFL season is popping. College basketball is going on. I forgot to mention college football. How could I forget to mention college football? I forgot to mention hockey. How can I forget to mention hockey? I'm right here in Durham, North Carolina, just a stone's throw away from Raleigh, North Carolina, my state's capital, home of the Carolina Hurricanes. How could I forget to mention NHL hockey? Hurricanes heads, I'm sorry. Don't shoot me. Don't send me disparaging emails. Don't hit me on Twitter. Don't hit me on Instagram. I love the Carolina Hurricanes. I've actually been to the PNC Arena and attended several games. Have you? So get off your soapbox. Don't throw stones at glass houses. Okay, I'm done. Moving on. I digress. Now, the first segment we talked about the NBA season because we all know the NBA is just now popping off. You know who I'm rolling with. LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers to repeat. So I'm going to move on. This segment, man, I'm going to switch gears a little bit because I said that the season is intertwined with sports, man. NBA, NFL, college football. So I spoke about the NBA. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the NFL. Can I talk to you people a little bit about the NFL? But before, let me take a swig of this natural spring water. I don't drink purified drinking water. I don't know what's in that. But this natural spring water, it's actually from Boiling Springs, North Carolina. So I think it's pure. Give me one moment, please. Yeah, Yeah, that hits the spot. Definitely hits the spot. Moving on. We're going to start talking about the NFL. The NFL season right now is at the midway point, man. And there are a lot of interesting takes, to